What's good? What's good, YouTube? What is good, fellow people out here on this same planet that we're all witnessing? Same world theory. Same world theory. I remember I told a girl that back when I was in farm school, the same world theory. That was back when I was younger, too. I didn't even really know much about most of all this stuff I'm discussing now in terms of like money and all that shit. Like, even red pill, black pill, MGTOW, inflation. But I told her same world theory. We all live on the same planet. No matter what section you're in, you're part of the same planet, and we're all aware of similar things, especially in this world that we live in terms of the interconnectedness of like internet, wide area networks, etc., all this crap. So same world theory. We just got a sense of the same world. But yeah, so welcome to you guys all in Essential Business. You get some rambling to go straight up at the beginning of the video. I do have a script here, so I won't ramble the whole time like I do in other videos, even though I do like doing those rambling videos. Some of you guys like the scripts better. So we'll go with the scripts today. What else on the intro? I dropped another banger, so go watch that one. The one I dropped yesterday about Black Pill Rising. That one was a banger. I think that's like my fifth or sixth banger or something. I consider a banger just a video over 100 views. So just relative to this channel, right? Like, we're not talking hundreds of thousands, we're not talking millions. We're just talking over 100 views. That's a banger to me. Thank you for the people who subscribed. Like, I gained a few subscribers on that. Hopefully we can keep that going. We're just trying to get to 100 here. And then we're gonna try to get to 1,000 because that's when the channel can get monetized. Then we can really start doing some cool stuff once we get those AdSense coming in. Yeah, and I guess whenever I have a video that gets a good amount of views, then I get a few people pouring in, like bringing hate to the channel. So it is what it is. I'll comment on those comments that brought some hate to the channel. I'll get back to you guys. You guys can keep your American women. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna diss you guys. Maybe you guys have some things to tell me that I'm getting wrong or that I don't know. It is what it is. I'll respond to those, and then like all the comments give me love. Keep those comments going. Like, I read them even though I don't respond to all of them. I'll try to respond to all of them, but there's getting to be a good amount now. But definitely keep those coming. That's what kind of keeps me going a lot in terms of like just wanting to post videos. I mean, it's exciting regardless, but getting those good comments from you guys are like, that just like is icing on the cake, if anything. Yeah, so definitely keep that coming. Thank you guys for that. And also criticisms too. Criticisms, not the hatred, but the criticisms. That's good. I definitely like that too. But yeah, okay, so that's like a long ass intro, probably like 2 minutes. Hopefully you're staying with me up until now. Today we're gonna talk about some interesting things. I actually wrote this script like last week. I think I wrote it over the weekend last weekend, basically like 7 days ago, 8 days ago, something like that. And yeah, this kind of has to do with, I mean, you already see the title. Like, we're talking about inflation, we're talking about European Central Bank here. So yeah, I guess I'll just get into it. Enough of on the intro there. I don't know anything else to say on that intro. So let's just get into it in this video. European Central Bank aims for 2% inflation, plus Western central banks view cryptocurrencies as a threat. So yeah, let's get into that. European Central Bank, ECB for short, aims for 2% inflation with allowance for it to go slightly higher. The United States Federal Reserve also has a 2% inflation goal, although here in the United States, we've already overshot that goal for this year a bunch. The inflation numbers from June was 5.4%. So, and then the inflation numbers before that, well over 2%. So we're talking month over month, it's more than 2%. So unless deflation occurs at the end of this year, we will have well overshot that 2% mark. And you know what's funny? After I wrote this script, like it was the middle of this week, Jerome Powell, he was like, "Oh, I'm surprised that the US inflation is this high." He still thinks it's transitory, but he was surprised that the United States inflation was this high. And if you guys have been watching the news, you've been seeing protests in various countries like Cuba, South Africa, Lebanon. All these places are dealing with similar things. The inflation of their currency and just social programs gone awry. Like we're not just seeing that in the U.S. Even New Zealand had 3.3% inflation. Their numbers came out. It's happening all over the world here. Apparently, according to the Bloomberg news channel, the inflation in Europe is not as bad as it is here in the United States. Although I've gotten differing things on that. I've heard some people say that the inflation there is worse. I've heard some people say the inflation in the United States is worse. So, I say in the script, I don't live in Europe, nor have I traveled there. I actually technically traveled there once, but I haven't traveled there being an adult, I guess, and understanding things about the world. So I'll have to take their word for it, but like I said, I've heard differing things, so I guess just research into that, but I guess I'll just take their word for it for now, according to the script. So the ratio of the euro to the dollar is 1.17 to 1, meaning that 1 euro is as valuable. The word valuable is weird these days because of the inflation of our currencies, but 1 euro as valuable, or it can purchase you as much as $1.17 can, if that makes sense. So a ratio of euro dollar 1 to 1.17, if that makes sense. Yeah, said that convolutedly, my bad, but you guys probably understand. So remember that we live in an era of floating currencies and free-flowing credit, and then a US dollar world reserve currency. So the value of many world currencies, including the euro, are tied to the value of the dollar. So as we print more money here in the United States, it affects these other world currencies, whether they follow our lead or not. So this is all against the backdrop of rising food prices and rising prices of other commodities. But in this script, we're going to focus on food, because when food prices get too high, historically too high means around 40 to 50% of one's income going to food. Then that represents the breaking point for the masses of people. And then they start getting angry and protesting and fighting, and we're seeing that already in other places. When will it happen in the United States? I'm not sure. Will it happen at all? I'm not sure, but it's definitely getting up there. Food prices are rising in both the United States and Europe. Many experts and analysts believe that this rise in prices is short-term and transitory. Word to Jerome Powell, word to Janet Yellen. But according to Bloomberg, there's a minority of analysts who are scared that this rise in prices is the beginning of a super cycle of food inflation. So it's interesting. The ones who claim that the price rise is short-term blame it on the pandemic and climate change. Funny. Definitely pay attention to the climate change narrative, because that's going to be really important moving forward. This whole climate change narrative, just keep paying attention to that. But the ones who say it could be the beginning of a super cycle are blaming it on central bank policies and the printing of money. So who's right there? What do you guys think? Is it short-term or long-term? And what is at fault? So leave you guys comments on that below. Short-term or long-term? Is it transitory? Is it not? What's at fault here? It's just very interesting to see what analysts say and then what they say the causes are. That's very interesting for me to hear that over the course of once I've understood kind of how money creation works and all this different stuff. People's perspectives it's just very interesting to see what people think and what is the minority opinion. Like, for some reason, the minority opinion always has to do with, like, money printing and things like that. I don't know why that's always a minority opinion. It just simply, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, guys like Peter Schiff, like, they're the minority opinion. But then also, it just makes the most long-term logical sense, because they make it the most simple. The most simple explanation is the least acceptable explanation, if that makes sense. Or at least it's the minority opinion is the most simple. Maybe it's simple to me though because I've been learning about it for so many years. So maybe it's not simple. Maybe it's actually that it's just simple now because of like how I've looked into it. I'm not too sure. Maybe the simple reason actually is the pandemic and climate change, to be honest. Like, now that I think about it. Because the stuff that Peter Schiff says, it took me a while to really understand Peter Schiff, to be 100% honest with you. So maybe he's not simple. And that just, I remember the first time I started listening to Peter Schiff, I would just watch a podcast, or listen to a podcast, and I would just accept the fact that I didn't understand most of the crap he was talking about. And I just watched several podcasts, and then over time, and once I started kind of pulling from the podcast and then applying that to what I was seeing in the real world and what I was seeing in terms of how things were moving along, it was only then that I started to understand. So it took me a while and several podcasts to understand. So maybe it is more complex. Like, so so what's simple and what's not, I can't really give a say on that definitively, to be 100% honest. But yeah, so moving on. Lastly, Western banks. So I guess we're done with that now. And now we're going to talk about the cryptocurrencies. So lastly, Western central banks view cryptocurrencies as a threat. As we predicted on this channel, they will usher in their own central bank digital currencies in the coming year. Like, this facts now. This was a conspiracy theory for some reason. I don't even know why. I don't know why this was a conspiracy theory, but for some reason it was a conspiracy theory. But it's just facts now. Like, we already know the digital yuan, I think, is already in circulation, if I'm not mistaken. And many countries are working on their own digital currencies based off of blockchains. So it just is what it is. That the US is working on their own and we'll usher ours in. And our government is always slow to do shit. So it is what it is. But they're working on it and they're going to drop it at some point. And then money's just going to be even more liquid and more fluid than it is now. So just wait until that. Like, they're already creating and test running their own blockchain-based digital currencies as we speak. Me and many subscribers to this channel are somewhat skeptical of the original traditional cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm very interested in the technology, but I would be lying to you if I was acting like one of those completely gung-ho, all-in on Bitcoin technology utopia people like that. I'm definitely not one of those people. I'm like in between that and a Peter Schiff kind of thing. So I'm definitely not like the digital currency utopia kind of person or the Bitcoin utopia. Like those, I'm not like those people, but I do like how they view the future and how they view these cryptos as like Internet 3.0. I do like that, just based on the technology. I like that, but as like solid money, I'm still, like we will see what happens. And remember, the internet was a government program, the World Wide Web funded by governments. And cryptocurrencies are probably the same. Like, we don't know for sure yet, but we know that blockchain is a government technology. And Bitcoin, who's Satoshi Nakamoto, the world may never know. Is Bitcoin a government technology? Would not be surprised if it was. Ethereum, we know that runs on Amazon Web Services. Like, we know the CIA funds that, like the whole Amazon Web Services, I think they have a contract with the CIA. Like at least, so they at least do business with the CIA. Like does the CIA fund it continuously? We don't know, but we just know they have a huge contract with the CIA. So like, that's on the Ethereum side. We know that Tezos is heavily tied to Bitcoin. Tezos is supposed to be a stable coin that's based off of the US dollar. And whenever there's a bunch of Tezos coins minted, all of a sudden Bitcoin goes up. We know that stuff. Is Bitcoin a complete government technology? I don't know that much fully. I'll just tell you all that stuff that I mentioned just now. That's the stuff we do know. Just you guys can apply that knowledge to Bitcoin and just, tell me what you think about it in the comments. Screw it. Or just make up. You don't even tell me in the comments. Just like think about it in your own head. But that's what I'll say on that. So as one subscriber geniusly put it, it's hard to believe that these governments just let cryptocurrencies flourish for over a decade before they started doing anything about them. Like, remember that I think the Bitcoin white paper was dropped in '08 or '09 or something like that. Like, I think it was 2009. So did governments really let something like a decentralized currency float around for decades without doing any research, without like getting on it at all? You tell me. I don't know. Did they really wait for the network to get this big and for this many people to jump on it before they started jumping on it? Like, you guys think about that. To me, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the US government was Satoshi Nakamoto. I put that in the script. My view on that changes every day, but I put that in the script. And if Bitcoin was the first, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin was the first trial run at implementing a central bank digital currency, and they just wanted to see how the masses would react to it. We ate it up, meaning the masses. We ate it up, and we will most likely eat up the central bank digital currencies once they come out. And we'll also probably eat up universal basic income if that comes out. So, and remember how liquid money is going to be once the CBDCs are out. It'll definitely be not as hard as it is now to usher in universal basic income. Is what it is. And these central bank digital currencies will be easier to inflate and track than paper fiat currencies. So, your spending habits. So it is what it is. In my opinion, I say keep learning about money, how it's manipulated, money versus currency, what inflation and deflation are, and how both of those phenomena occur. Just keep learning about that stuff. I think this knowledge will be even more valuable than it is now when those central bank digital currencies come out. Because like I said, more liquid, right? More free-flowing money out here. And it just is what it is. And yeah, so that's it. That's it for this one. Like, comment, subscribe. Definitely subscribe if you enjoy the content. And I'll put some important stuff in the description below. Like, I'll try to get that Discord in there, those important channels in there. Basically channels of my buddies, right? Those are important channels. I'll try to put those all in there. The last few videos, I've just been too lazy to put that in there. But I'll try to put that in there. Yeah, and that's it for the script. And that's honestly it for the video. And yeah, have a good day. Whether it's day or night when you're watching this in your area. Just have a good day. Be chillin'. Definitely keep learning about how money works. How a lot of this different stuff works. Red pill, black pill concepts. Understand those. Yeah, and just don't take things at face value, man. And one more thing. The more you know, the more you're able to kind of do what you want and have confidence in doing what you want. Just understand the consequences, the risks you're taking, etc. Just understand all that stuff, and yeah, you would be surprised how open things seem after understanding that. I understand the like I said in the last video, if you took the black pill or whatever, which I would consider myself, I think I took that. I also took the red pill. There's a despair that goes along with that, but then don't fall into that forever, because there's an openness, I think, that comes after that. Just like understand the landscape. That's the most important thing. Like once you understand that landscape, like different things become possible that just emerge out of understanding the landscape. So like honestly, I think that's a good thing. I would say understand those like pill concepts and then apply that to your life in a positive way, because like there's a lot of positives that can be gained once you understand those concepts. So understand the landscape. All right, that's it for today's video. I'll catch you guys in another one. Peace out. Peace out.